Hello, my friends, and welcome to Midweek Empowerment with this week, Bishop and Middle Girl.
Hi.
Everybody, this is my middle daughter. If you do not know, I'm sure you do. Her name is Deja Shiante Guns, right? I'm so honored to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. How old are you again?
I'm 23.
Ooh, Jesus. My baby's 23. It's interesting because one of the reasons I wanted her up here was I want to talk about this whole idea of being strategic, right? And this idea of not only being strategic in terms of conversation, but being strategic with a plan. One of my favorite quotes, Deja, is by Winston Churchill. And it says, never give up on something you can't go a day without thinking about. Now, why is that important? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, everything that you produce or create, develop, and accomplish needs to be something that you actually invest time, energy, and thought in. So part of what we want to do tonight is kind of talk about this whole idea of strategy. And at the age of 23, being a millennial, I guess that's what y'all are. Or what are y'all, Gen Z?
Yeah, Gen Z and millennials like Alexis and them age.
Oh, okay, the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Gen Z.
I'm gonna tell your sister. I'm gonna tell your sister you called her old.
Right.
She probably watching. So, okay, so what has happened to you that put you in this mindset outside of hanging out with your daddy?
Yeah, outside of that.
Okay. There you go.
I was actually scrolling on TikTok, mindlessly scrolling, and it was at the end of 2023, and I ran into this video, and this girl was just talking about how it's better to break down your goals just so you can achieve them. And then when I looked, I probably had, I'd say probably 6 or 7 goals from 2023 that I didn't hit yet. And it was because I had 30 to begin with. So it's like I was just picking at them and I couldn't really focus. So once
So you were goal overload.
Yeah, okay. Definitely. I had
okay, so maybe that's the first lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had a whole bunch of goals. And by the time we got to the end of 2023, I didn't reach them all just because it was too much and I didn't have a strategy. Like it was just, okay, well, I know I want to do this. I know I want to do this. I don't really know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And I did some of it, but I didn't have a strategy. So like we're going into 2024, I need an actual plan. And like, I'm a very organized person. So I needed like a breakdown, like this week I need to do this. And then just so I can see myself, getting closer and closer to the goal. So the strategy, I believe, is going to help me knock them out.
It's interesting. I just listening to you, there are some obvious teaching points or lessons. First lesson is don't overwhelm yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can say, I want to lose 50 pounds by January 3rd. I want to be a millionaire by February 6th. Yeah. I want to buy 4 houses by April. And I want da-da-da. And then you do it. And then you kind of build out and you have all of these ideas. Yeah. But that's all they are. Mm-hmm. They're like ideas. They're not even really goals. They're just kind of. So as someone 23, how did you, that's how you got here, but how did you really get here? What is it that's going on in your life that made you even want to talk about goals and strategies and objectives?
I think I'm at the age now where I know what I want to do with my life. Like I know where I want my career to be.
That's what I wanted you to say.
Yeah, it's like I'm clear. I've graduated. I've got my license. So it's like now I'm at the point where I'm clear and I know what I want to do. So that also helped because in the beginning of 2023, I was still uncertain. Like I didn't know where I was going to go or where I wanted to go per se, because you always leave room for God to just switch stuff around. But being that I have an idea, being that I have an idea of what I believe God wants for me, now I can center my goals around that and kind of plan better.
Okay, so we're doing teaching points tonight. So Ray, you're going to put this stuff up there. First thing is streamline your goals so that you don't overwhelm yourself. Mm-hmm. Second is developing yourself a desire for strategy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't have a desire They don't love the importance of strategy. They
Right.
don't understand how important strategy is.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a Bible verse.
Yes, I do.
What's the Bible verse?
The Bible verse is
Habakkuk.
Habakkuk 2:2.
Yes.
Paraphrase, write it out, make it plain. That's it. Just write it out and make it plain. Co-pastor told us weeks ago to be specific, pray specifically, write it out, make it plain, but be specific and watch God do his work.
So let's go back. Sometimes you're so desiring so much that you set yourself up for ultimate failure.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad is a sports guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Victories are won by how you handle the play that's in front of you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter that you got a whole set of ideas and goals and objectives.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't handle the play in front of you, if you don't do today
mm-hmm.
what you're supposed to do, then God can't really do anything else with you.
Right.
So think about this. You're 23.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other teaching point. And you're now, one of my favorite words,
mm-hmm.
clear.
Clear.
How did you get to clear at 23? And do you know how amazing it is to be clear at 23?
I know, right? Yeah.
It's crazy. Crazy.
I really believe that once I locked in with God, really locked in and was very intentional with my prayers, okay, God, what's up? I think that's when I became clear. And it's not always clear. It's not always clear in the moment. It's kind of like you just start building up. You just start hearing little things and all the pieces start coming together. Then you're clear. And I just trusted the process. Trusted God, trusted the process, and stayed grounded, stayed locked in. And now we closer than ever. And I'm clear.
But let's go back to something you said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's powerful. You locked in.
Yeah.
And that and I'll say this as everyone is listening to us. One of the biggest mistakes we make is we keep living an unsure life, making a lot of decisions to feed our unsureness, right? It's like in 2021 during the pandemic, you decided that you wanted to go back to school and work on your master's degree in, I don't know, toxicology. I don't even know if that's a degree. In 2022, you wake up and now you don't want to do that no more. You want to go be a veterinarian. You wake up in 23 and you go, veterinarian thing really doesn't fit me. Let me go try to be an entrepreneur. And you find yourself changing not just jobs, changing paths.
Yeah.
Which means that when you change a path, now you got to go back and start over. Yeah. So at 23, you using definitive language, locked in.
Yeah.
Right? What does locked in mean to you? What does it mean, daughter of mine?
Locked in means focused.
Hold on, say it slow because they got to write it.
Okay.
And Ray's got to put it on the screen.
Gotcha.
So what's the first word?
Focus.
Okay.
Unshakable.
Okay.
Vulnerable.
Wow.
Very vulnerable.
What does that mean in unshakable and focus?
You have to be focused, but you also have to be vulnerable enough to allow God to tell you what's up, but you can't let it shake you.
Who daughter is she? She trying to be a mystic. She ain't no mystic. She got a little bit in her though. Let me tell you what's so deep about that. Because in 1 Corinthians 15, it says, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, right? For you know that your labor is not in vain. But then there's this whole thing, and I've been quoting this verse every week during the empowerment. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, which is this whole idea of my mind keeps changing, but not, watch this, my path is the same, but God is doing a work with my thoughts and my mind so I can be aligned with the path that I'm walking down. Yeah. That vulnerability is availability to the process of the Holy Spirit. That's good. Yeah. So focus, unshakable, vulnerable. Anything else?
I think we can leave that at the main three. Like, I feel like once you have those, it's like, okay, trust the process. Because like you said with the path.
Okay, did you catch the next thing she just said, y'all?
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust it.
What does that mean?
And with the path, because you're on the same path, but the path isn't always going to be straight. Like it's going to be a couple curves and it's going to throw you a little bit, but you have to trust that God has you through the entire path.
Who's the process guy? This is what's deep. Sometimes your children are listening to you and then they start talking like you and they think it's their idea. But what they'll know, she's been listening to me preach for all these years. And almost every week I use the word process. Yeah. Let me tell you why I wanted her to come on. Outside the fact that she's going to share via link her process, her strategic process. Let me tell you why I wanted her to come on. Because a lot of times when people hear an almost 60-year-old man talk about this stuff, a man who's the dean of a leading seminary, a man who pastors a really good church, a man who's traveled all over the world, a man who people say he's successful, he's a sage, da-da-da-da-da. Got it. I'm also a flawed man that's got issues galore some days. But I wanted you to see not only the product of the work of parenting, which co-pastor and I are proud of our 3 daughters, but also the thing that's so amazing about you, for me, is that you are motivated without me nudging you. Mm-hmm. So there's something internal. Mm-hmm. And see, the reason why some of you are struggling is because you need inspiration every day. Mm-hmm. And there are seasons when your inspiration can't be from an external source. It has to be from an internal reservoir.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just have to have that desire to want to be great.
Absolutely.
Like you have, that's what I know that I have it, because that's what drives it. Like I've so desired to be successful and just be great. And not only that, to live out whatever God has for me. So it's like being that I'm so desirable, it's like, okay, let's figure it out. Let's do what we got to do. Yeah. So once you have that.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I believe that there are 4 things to success. And by the way, you know, my Bishop's Masterclass is starting in February. And, I'm excited about it. The people who've already signed up. And I think it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to do it again in April. Leading up to my 60th birthday, because I want to give a gift of my own personal wisdom. But there are 4 things that I've discovered. And I've tried to share this. I try to share this with my children. But I try to do it sometimes in the way I live. First thing is you have to be intentional. You do not get to where you need to get to without being intentional. Secondly, you have to build a circle that can manage your growth. Do not connect to people who need you to stay a midget so they can feel tall. Mm-hmm. Did y'all hear me? Don't connect to people who need you to be a midget so they can feel tall. Third thing is you got to be willing to change, right? So I'm loving that you're saying over and over and over and over and over. Got to stay open to God. Got to stay vulnerable to God because you don't know it all.
Right.
You plan it all, but you don't know it all.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the 4th thing. You got to be so hungry until even while you're eating, you're still starving. Oh, I'm doing good tonight.
You are.
My child. You got to be so hungry to even while you're eating, you're starving. You want it. So let's close tonight. This has been amazing. First of all, this ain't the last time she coming on. This ain't the last time. She, I might make you co-host.
Sure.
You like stuff like that. And I love it because this child was a little shy a few years ago. She went away to Savannah State. Ooh, and it just opened up, and I love it. What are your final words to people who are watching Midweek Empowerment this week. What's your final words today?
My final word is just because I've been fed this, through my parents. Guard your ears, guard your eyes, guard your mouth, and remember that the law of attraction is very real. You attract who you surround yourself with. You attract what you're thinking. Think positive thoughts, even though you aren't saying it. Even your thoughts can interfere with your purpose. So I think the main thing, law of attraction, just guard your space. Continue to seek God and trust the process.
Nice.
That's it.
So we close tonight with this motivational thought. Strategy is the result of hunger. Strategy is the result of intentionality, but strategy needs to also be the result of the spirit. Mm-hmm. So as you're living out your life and going out doing your purpose, make sure that you stay focused on your relationship with God. Go to my daughter's YouTube and watch. It's 30 minutes and it's going to be amazing. Ray's going to put it on the screen. We're going to make sure that you go to YouTube. Subscribe.
Please.
Yeah, subscribe. Help her reach some goals. And business is cranking. Mm-hmm. So they need to come to the salon.
Yes.
How do they contact you?
You can contact me at 904-431-7330, and then I'll give you more information about salon and all of that and how to connect with me and get your hair done.
There you go. But it ain't about hair. It's about changing lives and empowering people.
For sure. You will be empowered in my chair.
Absolutely. So I love y'all. This has been Bishop and
Deja Gunn.
We love you guys. Listen, share this. You need to share this one. Share this. It's been amazing. Spend this time with my daughter. We'll see you Sunday. We'll see you at the house in the house of the Lord on Sunday. It's going to be amazing. We got a lot of incredible things happening at St. Paul. So join us and get ready for tremendous. Remember, we're reading Proverbs every day. We're sowing every day. So we only got a couple of weeks left. And we are praying every day in the month of January. And we're reading the book of Proverbs. So, all right. So know where you are in the process. Stick it out.